Earlier today, I don't know how flat I'm going to be for this show. I'm a little exhausted. I took a 4-hour nap. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the older I get, the longer I nap. I told my wife, I said, you know what, I think I could sleep for days upon days upon days. And she goes, that's called a coma. Okay. And I will put your ass in a nursing home because I don't do bedpans. And in all fairness to her, that wasn't her vows. You know, right, the part about sickness and health, she goes, wait a minute, Reverend, I don't do bedpans. Okay, sorry. If that's a deal breaker, Jack, just let me know. Go back out to the casino, we'll have some fun. We don't need to do this. I said, no, I really want you to marry me and stay with me. Getting married ain't gonna make that happen either. Okay? So anyway, I was talking to my wife earlier about little things that you sort of indicate that you're getting older. Like if you carry air freshener in your purse, if when you order your underwear, it's on Amazon and it comes in a big box. And for me, I think one of the worst ones is when you go on a walking route, you drive around, you find where all the bathrooms are. Because you don't want to have that cheeks don't fail me now moment as you're racing to get there. And I'll tell you, in this state, the last thing that you want to do is get caught taking a squat on somebody's hibiscus bush. Because if you don't get shot, you are going to get a terse letter from the HOA. And you know, it's usually somebody you know, sort of acquaintance, maybe you met him at Mr. Twister Night, sponsored by the local chiropractor, so his name's Kevin or whatever. And he writes you this flowery leather, and it always sounds like sort of nice before they get to the nitty-gritty. Just a reminder, here at our complex, we do not allow pets over 35 pounds. Recently, Mr. Lee said that he found droppings of an animal that was close to 250 pounds. 5'10" with gray spiky hair. And a Walt Disney shirt. I'm pretty sure that's 224 pounds, by the way. And this animal also used foliage to clean himself. What was I supposed to do? It would be a horrible shame to lose Mr. Lee after all these years because somebody was impatient or somebody was, how should I say, selfish. At the time, it didn't feel like I was either one of those. But all in all, our HOA isn't as bad as I've heard some people's. Like I was talking to some people down at the Y. This guy was telling me that he got like HOA Nazis that actually drive around looking for violations. They come up to your house and knock on your door. Hello there. I couldn't help but notice that you have 7 plants on your patio. And only 5. You will have to make a decision on which to go. Also, while I'm here, I want to weigh your dog. All right, there's been a report he's over 35 pounds. So I brought a fish scale. I'm going to look around his collar. Settle down, he's only squirming because he's excited. You'll see he's still alive. 38 pounds. That's unfortunate. So I have 2 choices here. You can either get a new dog and give Smarty to someone else, or you can cut off one of his legs to get him out of the way. I would recommend the rear hind leg. It's heavier, more meaty. It's very sad when you cut off the front leg and they're still overweight. Very, very bad. You know, but I came down here 3 years. I'm retired from Colorado. And I wanted to find a place, in my mind, like Mayberry. Remember as a kid watching Mayberry with Andy Griffith, that kind of town. And I felt I found it here in Punta Gorda. Of course, after 3 years, it's like Mayberry on codeine or NyQuil. It's just so, it's like kind of like a bad Twilight Zone episode. Consideration this evening. A trip to the realm of bizarre. A trip to a tiny town called Punta Gorda, where midnight comes at 9 o'clock. Turn signals are always optional. Where the most terrifying part of your day is a 4-way stop. Where the golden corrals where singles go to mingle. Lead into the go slow zone. Now, it is kind of slow here, not a lot of action. Okay. I think we can all agree with that. In fact, here, the definition of a swap party is going to a potluck and coming home with somebody else's Tupperware. It's about as fun as it gets. I guess the village was. So I've heard. In fact, recently I was looking on the internet. The village is up near Orlando. They are opening up a strip club that caters just to seniors. All the employees are seniors. The only people who come in there are seniors. In fact, the Orlando Daily did a contest on, in 4 words letter, name our strip club. These are the 3 top finals. The Wrinkled Peach, Knockers with Walkers, and the winner, that low-hanging fruit. Now, the runner-up actually got more votes than the winner, but it's already registered, and that was a place for Mom. And I was looking at their website, and they got some cool jobs. They really do. I mean, I was looking at bouncer sounds great, but I have to know CPR and how to mop. And basically what you do is you walk around and look for people that might be getting ready to leak, and you just take them over off the carpet onto the Gore-Tex waterproof floor. Easy. If somebody gets a little froggy with one of the dancers, you just go over and pinch his oxygen tube till his color changes and take him into his golf cart and go home. But the job I'm really stoked out for, that I really want, is kind of like this job. It's the disc jockey in the strip club. Because I think you sort of set the rule, you're kind of like the happiness sheriff, you know, let people know what they have to do, what they can't do, all those kind of things. And, you know, make announcements, sort of set the tone, introduce the dancers, bring out the music. You know, I thought it would go something like this. On behalf of the low-hanging fruit, my name's Jack. Welcome for another evening of Boozapalooza. We've got an incredible dance crew tonight, but we have to establish some rules, and there needs to be some announcements. First off, don't be throwing coins at the dancers, okay? These coins can become entangled in their walkers, creating a nasty spill. Sure, it's always fun unless somebody loses an eyeball. If you're one of those kind of people that says, but if she still has one good eyeball left, was it worth it? You will be removed, you will not be able to come back, and you will feel shame, okay? If you want the tip and change, that's fine, just use the little red Dixie cups at front, but the girls do prefer the bills. $1 make a holler, okay? So don't forget that. Also, at the low-hanging fruit, we have a little extra. If you notice the silver buckets at the second stage, you can actually pay a dancer to keep her clothes on. $20 gets us started. At $100, she will stop taking off her clothes. Now, some of you out there might think, wow, that's an awful lot of money, Jack, on Social Security. But the reality about it is later on this evening, Saggy Sandy's going to be up on stage. It's been 10 months since her bariatric bypass. And she's trying to come up with $5,000 to remove the excess skin. Immediately after her will be our dancer, Vericosa. So, if there were something that you can never unsee fit, this is the moment. I think it's money well spent. Also, we offer private rooms for dancing, or a nap, depending on what you need. They come with a dimmer switch to make both experiences more pleasant. Now, a special announcement for the women folk out there. From the Wrinkled Weenie, with the all-male review coming. On April 25th, we have Chippendales of Arcadia. That's right. These men love to tan, and everything is tanned. So if you ladies like old brown leather and the smell of high karate, this might be the show for you. Also on May 5th, back by Popular Man, this man's been gone for almost a year, Way Long, that Asian sensation. You know, he's been off work because of a tragic wheelchair accident with an enthusiastic fan. He's been suffering from a severe case of Peyronie's disease. Well, apparently, he's finally straightened things out. Only 2 tickets left for that show. And then on June 3rd, I'm excited about this myself. The one and only Lars Anderson, also known as Dragon Balls, will be out here doing his tetherball dance. Also, for you men out there, employment opportunities if you're considering doing exotic dancing. We are ADA compliant, so see Dave in HR if you're interested, or contact Flaccid Jack's Productions. Another announcement before we start our show this evening. Our dancer, our very own Dementia, wandered away at lunch. We haven't seen her. So if you see a hot little filly with bleached blonde hair and a sequin dog collar, scantily clad wearing pink pants, please notify somebody in staff. Those silver alerts are really expensive to do. Okay, now, any more ado, let's welcome back to the stage after 6 months after hip replacement, Miss Naughty Nancy O'Brien, dancing to Some Enchanted Evening. I need some liquid refreshment too, sir. That hit the spot. You know, one thing you don't see around here, you don't see a lot of young people. Have you noticed that? I know they're there because I see them at the grocery store occasionally, but not a lot. 2 weeks ago, we saw some young kids who were down on spring break. What a nasty thing to do to your grandkids, huh? You know you wanted to go to Cozumel, but hey, you're going to go to Punta Gorda and visit Grandma and Grandpa. That's good for them. We don't see much of them at night. They go down to either Port Charlotte or Fort Myers, they do their thing, and then the next day they lay out by the pool intoxicated all day. I sat out there for one day, watched this kid lay in the sun for 3 hours, and I could start smelling bacon. He was getting burned. I'm a Christian dude. Walked over, kicked his foot, and go, yep, dude. What's up? He goes, oh, hi. I said, you seem pretty relaxed. He goes, there's something about this place that makes you just want to sleep. I said, well, actually, what it is, you see all these old people we're draining your life essence from you. You think I'm joking? I've been here 4 months. I'm 22 years old. Look at me. Look at me. You know, so anyway, I also asked him, I was curious, because I've been watching. I said, have you been peeing on a pool? He goes, well, of course not. I said, well, we do. So you think about that on your way to the emergency room, because you need to go now. Well, I'm about another 4 hours short, so I'm going to tell you one more story. This is my first Christmas by myself as a senior with my wife. It was just us. We had a little Charlie Brown tree. No big deal, but she gave me the best present I could ever want. Okay? This was the coolest thing I'd ever gotten. I'll show you. That's not for you. That's just for me. Okay. But she got me 8 pairs of Hanes underwear with a special pocket fit. She could picture her family jewels in it. It's so cool, man. The neatest thing since French bread, I'll tell you right now. But the thing that made it touching was she had actually taken the time to engrave my name, address, and phone number in each, along with the day of the week I'm supposed to wear it. So I realized right then, if I wander away and somebody finds me, they'll know who I am, where I belong, who to call, and most importantly, what day of the week I got lost on. Except for the 8th pair, which she just put instead of the date, she put just in case. Just in case of that. And I was so touched by that. I wanted to get her something just as nice, so I got her an 85-inch television. That picture's unreal, because I know she's a big football fan. But the thing that's impressive about it is you can see all the medications, all their side effects, what problems they cause. Like there's medication out there for diarrhea, it's brand new. Most common side effect, anal leakage. Really, I shit you not. I mean, how do they know if it's even working? Well, Jack, how's the medication working for your diarrhea? Well, Doc, I'm not really quite sure. It seemed fine, but then just down in the lobby I sneezed and messed my britches. See, I can smell it. Wow. Well, unfortunately, that's one of the side effects, so I'll give it another 30 days. And next month, just call me from the parking lot. I'll come out and visit with you. Then there's a great one for dementia. This is for real. Most common side effect, confusion and forgetfulness. I think they're dumping their placebos on the market. Say, well, with a placebo, 50% are still going to get better. And then, of course, there's some medications out there that actually act like they're bragging about their side effects, like Viagra. Warning, if you get an erection lasting more than 4 hours, seek immediate medical attention. I don't think so. I can terrorize the whole county for 4 hours. Of course, then later on, the doctor's, well, we're going to have to cut it off. Wow, I didn't think this through. Darn it. How horrible. But you know, like most guys, it was George Carlin that said, the reason men name their penises is because you don't want a stranger making all these big decisions. I've waited 20 years to see my old friend, Omar the tent maker, his 2 sons, Ahmed and one Hunglo. Yeah. Ahmed and one Hunglo, they're not there anymore, but still, I'm hoping. You know, the fun thing about being a host and meeting the comedians is the talent that you meet and the wonderful people that are comedians nowadays, okay? I had a chance to meet with this young lady who's going to be coming here for shortly, and